The Chicago Bears are officially on the clock with the Super Bowl being over. Congratulations to the Kansas City Chiefs. Heck of a game. Congratulations to the Niners for getting there, but winning in an overtime, keeping history going. Hopefully the Bears are able to build something very similar to that. And it starts with this upcoming draft. And one Bears insider believes that it's no longer a question of keeping Justin Fields. It's more a question of who will the Bears take in the draft. Got to talk about that report. And of course, what kind of compensation I'm hearing that the Bears could get for Justin Fields. All that and more in today's episode of the Windy City Breeze Sports Talk Daily. Let's go. Now, if you are new to the channel, please like the video. Please subscribe to the page. We do talk Chicago sports daily on this channel. It's the only channel talk Chicago sports, how Chicago talks. So make sure that you get in tune with us, man. So Brad Biggs coming out post-draft with the Bears on the clock saying it's no longer a question between keeping Justin or moving on. The question now, and it's very clear, which quarterback are they going to draft? The Fields thing has run its course. Now, Biggsy's been on this for a little while. I don't know if I fully agree with him. I think Biggsy was on this kind of time even when Justin was playing at his best in the second half of the season. He's out on Fields, and I don't know if this is his opinion or this is actually what he's hearing. I'm not saying that he's not plugged in. He's in the building every day, does great work. But I just don't believe that anybody truly knows what Ryan Poles is going to do. I think a lot of people know what they feel like Ryan Poles is going to do. I think a lot of GMs around the NFL know what they would do if they're in that situation. But Ryan Poles still playing the cards very close to the chest, you know, right up against the eyes. You've seen it, right? What's going on over there? Nothing. Oh, yeah, I got a lot under here. But at the end of the day, to me, when I look at a report like this, it seems like there's a lot of people where there's smoke, there's fire. And so if there's a little bit of smoke here, if any, and I think there's quite a bit of smoke here, it could mean that the Justin Fields era is coming to an end. Now, I don't know if I'm all in on that just yet, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. You know, like Ryan Poles has a decision to make, and it's a decision that I said yesterday, one way or the other. I think it puts the Bears in a position where they can go out and they can win games and they could be a competitive team if you keep Justin Fields or if you bring in Caleb Williams, because your team is an ascending roster. And with an ascending roster, it feels better when you have the quarterback on the cheap deal, because then you can go out and you can pay the other pieces. You can pay for Jalen Johnson to stay here. You can go out and you can get a 3 technique. You can go out and you can get you an edge rusher. You can still draft pieces and things like that, but you can build your team financially more so than going out there and paying the quarterback that I guess you still have questions on. There's a lot of people that do have questions on Justin Fields, rightfully so. It's been a very up and down process with Justin Fields. To me, I thought this season was a lot more up than down, but I mean, the fact that people can see it the other way tells you just how close it is. So if it has run its course, what does that mean, right? I think it's obvious if you got the #1 overall pick, and yes, they're going to wait till the combine gets here. This is not going to be a situation where they go out and they're waiting, right? Like, or they're gonna announce what they're doing tomorrow. They're gonna wait to see what the numbers are, what the measurables are, what kind of medicals you're getting back on all of these guys. But if you go into this draft right now and you look at Justin Fields, and you look at Caleb Williams, and you look at Drake May, to me, from the tape that I've watched on these guys, from the games that I've looked at these guys, from how I've seen them, there's a gap. There's a massive gap, and that's okay to say. It's not hate towards one or the other. It's just that I think that both can be successful in the NFL, but I think Caleb Williams, to me right now, when I look at him coming into this NFL, does have the higher ceiling, especially coming to a team that's probably a little bit more ready to go. Remember, Washington is a team where you have Drake May put in that situation. They're not built up in the slightest, right? You look behind that, the Patriots are another team that's probably taking a quarterback. They don't have a good situation in place right now at the quarterback position. I guess maybe what are you going to do? Try and fix Mac Jones? I doubt it, right? So to me, right, like whoever the quarterback is that does get drafted and comes to Chicago, oddly enough, I think you're in the best position to actually develop, because there is some semblance of stability here. There's some semblance of a team that is a little bit more built in the right direction. And so that usually tends to lead to proper development a lot quicker. The one thing that I will say is, now what do you do with Justin Fields? By the way, let me know how you guys feel in the comments below. Do you feel like Bigsy's report is true? Do you feel like this is just more smokescreen? It's smokescreen season, baby. It's smokescreen season. So where there's smoke, there's fire. There also can be a smoke bomb over there, and it's just smoke filling up the room. Like, this is one of those times where everything that comes out is literally just like, is it true? Is it not? Is this a ploy to get the draft stock up? Which it could be, right? If you're all in on Caleb Williams and you know Washington wants Caleb Williams, what's Washington willing to give you to make the deal so sweet that they can take Caleb Williams? There's still that aspect of it. I am not out on Justin Fields at all. I think that he can be a good quarterback here, and I think the path to building your team successfully is more so through building the team than just finding the one piece at quarterback. But then you look at Pat Mahomes last night, and I guess if you could find Pat Mahomes, what I'm gonna say? No, like, I don't know. Like, I watched him put the team on his back and over. So I don't. It's craziness. It's craziness. But now here's the real question. What does that mean for the Chicago Bears still trying to build this team? Because now in this scenario, you're not trading away the first overall pick. You're trading away Justin Fields. You're looking to move on from a quarterback who still has a couple of years of controllable assets or controllable money. Still very team friendly, right? You got $5 million this year. I believe it's $25 million on that 5th-year option if you were to pick it up. Whatever team would trade for him, I do believe would be interested in picking it up. And so now you have to ask yourself, who are the teams that kind of stand out to you and you want to see and you believe would want to go after Justin Fields? Everybody says Atlanta. Atlanta's the number one team that pops up. I don't think you're getting the 8th overall pick for Justin Fields. I know Mel Kiper reported that. I know there's been a couple of people out there who have said you can get first-round draft capital, high first-round draft capital. I don't know if I believe that. Like I said, I love Justin. I want Justin here. If you can get the 8th overall pick, you run. But sitting at 43 right now, if I'm trading away Justin Fields, let me get 43 off of you. They also have that 3rd-round pick, the 79th overall pick that they got from Jacksonville. I'd be intrigued to try and get that as well, and maybe something late in the draft in a future pick. You know what I mean? And what I'm hearing is that's kind of the package that the Bears could basically get, a 2nd-round pick leading the way there, and maybe moving on from a different pick, because at that point they would feel like they have the quarterback of their future. You're giving up multiple picks to go out there. So a later pick, right? And that Jacksonville pick, I think the lower of the 2 picks there for Atlanta. So I think they'd be more intrigued to give you something like that. Now, here's where this gets interesting, though. Something else that I am hearing is that Pittsburgh is also interested in Justin Fields. And we had talked about on the episode, right, why Pittsburgh is kind of a good fit for the Chicago or for Justin Fields, because you're going into a situation, wide receivers already there, tight ends already there, running game. You feel like you got that. Got to work on that offensive line a little bit, but those are things that you can build up as you go through the draft and things like that, right? And what's interesting about Pittsburgh is just in that perfect position where they're too far away from the top pick to go out there and actually try and get a quarterback. It would cost you too much to try and move up. It would cost you too much to and you wouldn't be able to get one if you just stayed at 20. They're sitting at 20 right now. And so if Atlanta was willing to offer you the 43rd overall pick and maybe that 3rd-round compensation as well from Jacksonville, now that opens up the conversation where Pittsburgh can go, listen, we're not going to sit here and give you our entire draft. We're not going to sit here and move on from you, but sitting at 20, we feel like Justin Fields is a good value pick. I'd be more interested in, here's straight up the 1st overall pick, better compensation than you're going to get there. I'm sorry, not 1st overall pick, our 1st-round pick, the 20th pick overall. We're willing to part with that for Justin Fields because that's above all the capital that anybody else is going to offer you out there. And I guess it really boils down to how much does Pittsburgh want Justin Fields? In that situation, you're also in a better spot because you don't have a 2nd-round pick here. So sitting at 20, maybe now you can allow yourself to trade back yet again after moving on from Justin, go into that 2nd round, get a couple of picks back from that, maybe still get some of these picks, right, that are kind of in that 2nd, 3rd round range, and be able to move and be able to add to your team that way. Go out, find your center, go out and find possibly another young wide receiver to add to the mix as well. Like, there's a lot to me. Or I think at 20, right, I know a lot of people were sitting there talking about, you know, Bowers is never going to get down to 20. You can't just sit at 20 and get Bowers. Bowers is, to me, falling in this draft because as I start to go through it and I start to look at some of the names, I mean, when you go 1 through 10, you've got multiple defensive ends, you've got multiple wide receivers, multiple quarterbacks, right? 1 through 10 to me is probably locked up. Now we go 10 through 15. I guess or 11 through 15. I guess maybe I could see him going there, but right now you're talking about some of the other lower end, I guess, tackles, like maybe not lower end is the wrong way, defensive tackles though, that you feel like, okay, we got some good value here, but this guy's still got a little bit of got to knock the edges, or got to round the edges out on this guy, right? He's not a perfect pick, but he's a good value pick here. Like, I think Bowers could be somebody who does end up falling. You also got to look at the teams that are in there. Are they in the market for a tight end? When I look 1 through 19, I don't think anybody's desperate for the tight end position right now. So maybe there's a chance that he falls to 20. I don't know if that's a given, but I see a lot of pieces in this draft that I could see going 1 through 19 ahead of Bowers. And now I think what's interesting with 20 though is if Pittsburgh is willing to give you that level of compensation, again, if you can get a first round pick for Justin Fields, you take it and run. Right? They do 28, like if you can get 8, perfect, right? But now that to me starts this bidding war back up. And I remember last week we had heard that there is not a great market. I believe Adam Schefter talked about this. There's not a great market for Justin Fields, right? There's not this in-depth market for Justin Fields, but are there 2 or 3 teams that do believe in him, are vying for him, feel like they can get the most out of him? Yeah, there are. And so to me, that's the situation that I look at and I go, okay, so get the bidding war between those 3 teams. We know Atlanta wants to be one, hearing that Pittsburgh wants to be one. Can you find somebody else that's in that mix that might also want to be there? Maybe that's how you get all the way up to that first round pick. That to me could be interesting. And again, if you can get first round draft compensation for Justin Fields, you go out and do it. Like, that's the part where I love Justin. I want Justin to be the quarterback of the Bears. I believe Justin could be a 10-year starter for the Chicago Bears. I believe that Justin could be an elite player for the Chicago Bears, but there is the business aspect that plays into this, and right now the business of football seems to be what is taking precedent here, at least with all the reports that we've heard. Again, nobody knows what Ryan Poles is going to do. Nobody knows how this is all going to end up. But if I'm looking at where everything is right now, I'm starting to feel like the Bears are probably going to move off of Justin Fields. Is that what I want? Not at all. But am I going to sit here and boo the next guy that comes in? No, like that portion of fan bases that is so tied to a player being the number one, being the only reason that you're cheering for a team. Like, when did that start? As Bears fans, when did that start? Yeah, I mean, like, guys, we rooted for Mitch, Rex, Cutler. Like, when did we start like tying ourselves to one player? If that player's not there, I don't know. I want Justin here. I believe Justin could be a quarterback of the future, but if not, I mean, that's Ryan Poles' decision. The one thing is, at the end of the day, it's still in Poles we trust. And I really am on that. It's still in Poles I trust, and it's not in Poles I trust if he makes the decision that I feel is best while I sit here and do my podcast. No, it's just in Poles we trust. I trust Ryan Poles to make the right decision. I feel like he's done a good job of that. And so if this is the move to make, if Bigsy is correct when he's talking about, moving on from Justin and which quarterback they're going to end up taking, I think we all know which quarterback they would end up taking in this situation. Then guess what? I'm going to sit here and I'm going to scream bear down for the next guy that comes in here and plays quarterback. If that's Caleb Williams, if that's Drake May, if that's Jaden Daniels, it is what it is. Here we go. Bear down. And at the end of the day, drop a bear down in the comments below, man. I do want to know how you guys feel. What are your thoughts if you can get kind of that level of compensation for Justin Fields as well, right? If you feel like, I think that's the other part that plays into this. It's a business. If somebody offers you a first round pick, you take the kid. It is about building your team out, and yes, it is about finding the right answer, but you also got to make sure that you've got the right answers at a lot of different positions outside of just the quarterback position. So let me know how you guys feel in the comments below. I'll be down there talking with you as well. As always, it's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again. So continue watching our Chicago Bears content. Click the links to the screen or check the links in the description below. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. Bird done. Peace.